Hello guys and girls, and welcome back to a this video I won't even say it's very new, but I've been meaning to do this type of video for a while. I know not many people like rants, but hey, you gotta, well, if you don't like what I have to say and you don't really feel like I should have an opinion about anything, you don't have to stay. Not really forcing anyone to stay here. I'm not really trying to become a very big and crazy PokeTuber or any type of YouTuber. I'm just doing this because it's something for me to do. I'm not really here to make a profit. I'm not really here to, you know, spread misinformation, here to spread any hate. So I want you guys and girls to get one thing across and into your mind. Criticism does not equal hate at all. It doesn't mean you're entitled to anything at all. And it doesn't mean you're crying over something that is you don't seem as big. If you don't see it as big as somebody else do, doesn't mean they're entitled, they're crybabies, or they're toxic. It just means they see a problem. If you don't see it, then just don't bother them. If they want to express how they feel about something, let them. And if you don't see them bothering you, you don't bother them. I want to get that across now. So if I say anything you do not like, you might as well just unsubscribe if you want. But if those who does not care, they're neutral on anything criticizing Pokemon Sword and Shield, hey, stay if you want, leave if you want, still doesn't really matter. But this is something that I need to say about Sword and Shield. Yes, I'm still getting the games, and yes, I'm still disappointed. And I'm also disappointed in the people that always say these things will change in the final product. This is the final product. The water and other things has not changed. Yes, some of the graphical things did change. They touched up a few things, but the problem is, yes, you see, it's water. What do water does? Water has an effect. The effect is when something is moving in water, on top of it, like Gyarados is doing, not underneath it, not below it, and not very far under, on top of it, you will see the water moving. And when water moves, you have a ripple effect. Okay, we got that across? Now, when Gyarados moves through the water, it looks more like it's clipping through the ground, and it does not have a reflection. This was a problem since they first revealed the wild area, and that's months ago. And people say this is supposed to change, and then when there's no change, people change their mind saying, "Oh, it's just water. It's not supposed to do X, Y, Z." No, you're going back on your word. We told you guys this is a problem. Look at this. Gyarados is just clipping through the water. That's not how water works. You may see water ripples for other things, and it just turned in just in an awkward way. That's not good. And then the draw distance for some characters is just bad. It's you gotta be farther away for them to disappear. You don't even have to be that far in Pokemon Sword and Shield for a character to disappear. That's not good draw distance. And here's the first town. Remember what I mentioned about draw distance? This will actually give you a clear image of what I mean. I mean, yes, Pokemon Sun and Moon had terrible draw distance, but I wouldn't even argue and say that's because it's the 3DS. But they did have a lot of unnecessary things in them. Oh, I forgot to mention. Yes, Pokemon games within their files have terrible, they have a lot of terrible things they should have taken out. But not when I wouldn't say all of it is terrible, but extra stuff that does not need to be in the game. If it doesn't belong, then yeah, it shouldn't be there. Or if you're not going to use it, then take it out. And don't have extra copies of something if it's a main character model within the story. You don't have extra copies. Delete the extra copy, use the copy you have, and things should be fine. And that character just popped in. So the draw distance is not really good. The switch is supposed to be a powerful system no matter how you see it. The character just disappeared again. I mean, if you can't tell, I mean, I can't really circle anything. Just watch the guy next to the Wooloo shadow, and you just see him just pop out of existence. That's not good. I feel like you should be a bit more farther away before you just see anything popping. Just like how he just walked by like everything else, and everything else didn't just pop out of existence. So anything that's kind of close should be still in range of the camera. They shouldn't pop in and out at all. They should really like took their time with this game. Okay, I do not own this and this like footage of the game. So just so you guys girls know that I kind of had to get like I was looking for the gameplay footage for Sword and Shield to continue on what I'm saying. So just letting you guys and girls know, I got this gameplay footage from the person right here, VG212, 247.com. I'm not sure, does this have what I am looking for exactly? It might. So, just gonna skip around a bit. This might actually shows one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, Dynamax and Gigantamax Pokemons are not really big Pokemons, they're just holograms. But even if so, there's still some things to talk about. The games themselves don't know. Just like the ESP share thing is back. Just like from Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. But it's not known if you could turn it off or not. The games also let you autosave. Those are things I wanted to cover before. But those are not really bad things. Those are actually... Well, I don't know about the EXP thing. And you can skip catching tutorials in Pokemon Sword and Shield, but don't go overhyping and crazy for it, because in Generation 2, you could do the same thing. So, it's been a thing in Gen 2, so this isn't really new. And with Pokemon Sword and Shield, you can actually walk up to the starter, save, and then talk, and then you could like pick your starter. So it will be easier to shiny hunt for them and a lot faster. That's if they're not shiny locked, and if you want to get their shiny, you had to breed for it. Because Game Freak loves to shiny lock like their Pokemon. And your rival Hop will have 2 Pokemon or 3, because I saw 3 Pokeballs. And this is the other thing I wanted to talk about. They cut in Pokemon for high quality animations. Oh wait, too far. Oh, I'm trying to... Okay. Before I get to that, if you look kind of where this... Look by the Maractus, look on your left, and you see a little girl dressed in an Eevee costume. So I guess that's going to be a thing. Okay, they're cutting Pokemon for high quality animations. But tell me why Charizard Flame don't come from his mouth, it come from his head. Scorbunny Flames don't come from his mouth, it will come from his ears. And then Grookey attack come from his forehead and not his mouth. And just grass just plop out his head. I mean, that right there is different from normal like rock polish. But they only updated some moves. Not all, some. There's nothing wrong with reuse. And then the draw distance, I think. Is this the same? No, this is different. I mean, unless the character did just popped up, because I remember there was a character on that bridge. But anyways. So, yeah, some things did change, some things didn't really. Most of these animations are just from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. So, like that, By that means that none of the moves that is in this game is really new. Other than the moves that hasn't been in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And also, when you start the game, don't think you're gonna quickly run into a high level Pokemon, I believe, because when you walk into the wild area, it's kind of barren. Meaning, like, there is not really much going on. Like, you won't see any Pokemon at all. It just looks empty. And that kind of goes back to draw distance. Even if something is super far away, you shouldn't be able to see it, but if it's close up, um like where you can visually see it, then it should like be there in front of you, just like those combies in that Bornaby. And I mean, some parts of the game kind of does look decent, but it's just that some parts just need to be worked on. Oh yeah, you can whistle in the game. I'm not sure have I ever mentioned that. And if they get by this one rock, I mean, even the water's never reflecting trees that's not even there. That's not really a good look. I mean, if they just gonna give us a game like this, they could have just at least added all the Pokemon. And if there's a problem with balance, just ban the Pokemon that's not native to the region. So that means that the only Pokemons you can use in any tournaments is just, you know, Pokemon that's in the Galar region. And look there, right there. You can see, yes, the quote unquote trees. Everybody angry at trees, screaming, crying, yelling. The thing is, the trees does not look that good. I remember one time people said, "Oh look, the trees, they look updated, they look all new and better. People need to start getting angry over a tree." It's more than just the tree. It's way more than that. They're ignoring, like, don't ignore every single problem and just focus on the one thing. The trees does not look like it belongs on the Switch at all. They could have done better. This is a multi-million-dollar company. Game Freak could do better. Now, like I said again, criticism is not bad, but they could do better. It's like what we're basically doing is saying is not really bad or toxic. It's more like if you see somebody who has a broken leg and then somebody like telling them to, you know, not really saying like full on get better, but like encouraging them to get better and encouraging them to do better, and they know they can heal. Besides just saying, hey, you need to rest, it's okay, just stay there, you just need to rest. I think I'm saying that right. I'm trying to think of a good explanation. Well, not explanation, example. Or if someone is sick, what is a good example? Because if something is hurting, and you know, I wouldn't even say hurting, but it's like mindless positivity is never a good thing. So if you just mindlessly don't think anything is wrong with the person or anything at all, I mean, it's okay to not see anything wrong with something, but if you don't see any type of problems, and I mean any, and not acknowledge any problems, then that's not good. But if you see any problems and you know they could do better, and you're not just babying them, you will get better results, is what I'm trying to say. It's hard to get out what I'm trying to say when I'm thinking on the spot. So I know Game Freak can do better than this. Way better. And I know they can add all the Pokemon. They don't even have to make all the Pokemon in the overworld. And I don't really see any reason for Pokemon Home to exist at this point. Now do not dare comment saying like Game Freak don't want you to use overpowered Pokemon. If you look at everything that they're giving you, they're allowing you to get overpowered Pokemon. Even in the wild area, you could just catch a powerful Pokemon, I think. But with pre-order bonuses and all that other good stuff, they're giving you strong Pokemon. So I don't get why people use that as an argument. It's not even an argument. And Pokemon Home don't really have a purpose to me because it's easier to trade on these games. And all the Pokemon you need is in the game. So what is the point of transferring the Pokemon if you already have access to them? I don't really see no type of point in Pokemon Home. And there's another tree that's not really reflecting properly. And that is very awkward. I said XU. XU? Natsu? No, just XU. XU actually can flap its wings when it flies. It does not float robotically. And then when you walk out of like the distance that how close it is, it just popped in just it just pops into existence. Like what the heck? Game Freak could do way better than that. Like that's not that's not that's why. Why does it just pop in? That's awkward. And if you want a flying Pokemon to come to you, you just whistle. But be careful what Pokemon you whistle at because if it's a shiny, it will run away. Those Pokemons just pop into existence. They was not far away. Like, what? Why did they pop into existence? Why? So many questions, not enough answers. So these games are not really, I know they tried, but still, just this is not really acceptable. I mean, yearly releases is not even a good thing. This is why yearly releases should never be like practice in any like industry or company, because cutting corners trying to make ends meet is not helpful at all. It's harmful in so many ways. It's just harmful. Just if you ever see anyone criticizing, just leave them alone. Because if they don't bother you, you shouldn't bother them, no matter if you do not like their opinions or not. Or if you do or not. Don't bother people. Let them express how upset they are. How you how you think they feel? If their favorite Pokemon is not in this game this year, they have to wait a whole nother year to like play with their favorite Pokemon again. And even if so, even if Game Freak just rotate the Pokemons around, every Pokemon that's not in this game will be in the next one. And then the ones that are in the next one, like all of them are not in Sword and Shield, you cannot battle and trade with your friends. Like that is not a good look. This is why cutting Pokemon is not a good idea unless they kinda I wouldn't even say I would say if they kinda make a Pokemon game with at least if they make a next Pokemon game with now that wouldn't even still work. It would never work. Cutting Pokemon would never work. They should just stop making new ones and just continue with the old ones. Because all they have to do is just change up the designs and make regional forms for old ones. And everybody would just still love it. I mean, people still do love new Pokemon though, but I digress. Pokemon Sword and Shield just needs to be worked on. And also splash effects is not high quality animations. Splash effects is nothing. It's not even hard to do. So every excuse Game Freak gives is never justified, no matter how you see it. Some people might think it is, but it's not. A lot of people do not see it as justified. A lot of people do see it as harmful though. So please remember to respect other people, because if you want respect and you want to be treated like an adult, or if you want to be treated as equal, you must first give respect. And with all that said, I shall talk to you all later.